What's up guys, and welcome to the 8 C# tutorial, and today I'm going to show you a bit about arrays. Arrays are basically a big box with small boxes, or one big variable with multiple variables in it. That's basically how you can see it. So to create an array, we're going to type the data type and then a square bracket to the right and to the left. Then we're going to type the name. So for now I'm going to call it strings equals, and then you're going to type new string array, and in between here we're going to put the length for how many variables it can hold. So for now we're going to do 2. So if we go over here and we're going to do, for example, strings 500, strings 500 equals hi. And if we're gonna run the code now, we're gonna get an error. As you can see, index out of range exception. This is one of the many exceptions in C#, which is basically a value which will return if you get an error. And these will depend on what the error is, and it could be really useful to know those. So if we're gonna do, for example, strings 0, because in an array you start counting at 0, not here, because this is just a length, but over here on the index, which is what this is called, you're gonna start counting at 0. So string 0, or also the first spots, we're gonna do hello space. Over here we're going to assign the first or the second as world. So we're going to go console.writeLine, and we can do strings 0 plus strings 1, which will basically just print the 0th value and the first value, or the first and the second. So when we run this code, as you can see, it will say hello world, because it prints the first or the 0th and the second or the first, which are these values. So to loop through an array, you have 2 ways to do that. One is with an index, and one is not really with an index, which you could get it with it. But for now we're going to only do one, which is a for loop. And in the for loop we're going to do the initializer as for int I equals 0. As the condition, we're going to do I equals less than strings, and we're going to find a property here, which is basically just a value you can get from the array. So the property is called length, which basically returns this value, or how many items there are in it. Then we're going to do a semicolon, and then the iterator, which is basically going to be I++. And because the array starts counting at 0, the index will also start at 0. We can check less than, and the index will always be right. So for each time, for each value in the array, we're going to do, first we're going to create a string here, string message, because we're going to do it empty. And for each time it loops, we're going to do message plus equals, so we're going to add to the message strings with the index of I. So it's going to add the value it's looping through from 0 to 1. So, and then in the bottom here we can console.writeLine, and then we can do message. What we can also do is do it in here, and then we can see how it basically improves or builds the string, which we're going to do after this. But as you can see, hello world works. If we put this code in here in the for loop, you can see it basically like building hello world. So for example, we can also make the list longer, or the array, sorry, and we can add strings 2 equals and YouTube. and remove this. Well, this would be better than no space here. So as you can see, when we run the code now, you can see this, which is basically added in the third time it loops. This can keep going on forever as long as this is an integer. It's all fine. So that's basically all there is to arrays for now. I want to thank you guys for watching. If you like the video, press the like button, and if you want to see more, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.